if you're up at the podium, it makes it easier for those online and for recording to record that for our YouTube channel. Plug the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel where we post everything in the meetings. But when we do go our comment section at the beginning, we ask that you refrain from going outside of what's on the agenda. So at the end, we'll have time to be able to talk about other things. We want to just keep everything tight at the beginning, get through the meeting and business for this evening, and then we'll go into the evening. So just anything, guys? I think that was kind of our good set of ground rules.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Help yourself. There's some coffee, water over for some snacks, and lunch on. Other than that, thank you for being here.
I'll make sure this sign.
Oh, yes, and you haven't signed in. Up here, sign-in sheet, attendance, help yourself. With that being said, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President.
Thank you, Corey. Appreciate that. And again, from all of us, thank you very much, all of you, for taking time out of your busy lives to come here on this Thursday evening to get informed about what's going on with our community. I'm going to call this meeting to order. It is 7:03 p.m. We have a quorum established. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members here. Anybody online?
No, board.
Okay, so we have 5. We have quorum, 5 of 7. Proof of notice. Do we have proof of notice, Matt, manager? Thank you. Okay, so as Corey mentioned, we're going to open the floor for comments only on the agenda. If anybody has any questions on the agenda items, now is the time. You can come up to the podium and give whatever comments or questions you have regarding the agenda. Anything else we would address at the end of the meeting? Is there anybody online? Yeah, and anybody online as well, raise your hand if you want to make any comments at this time regarding the agenda. No? Okay. You got nobody? No. Okay, we're going to move on then. Nobody wants to comment today. Good. All right, we're going to move over to the reading of and approval of the meeting minutes for our board meeting from May 25th, 2023. Has everyone had a chance to review those minutes? Any discussion or corrections recommended? No? Can somebody make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for May 25th?
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for May 25th. I second that motion.
Okay, Jason, second by Scott. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Next meeting minutes is for the special board meeting on June 15, 2023. Any corrections or discussion regarding those meeting minutes? Okay. I need a motion to approve those minutes.
I make the motion to approve the minute for June 15, 2023.
Any second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. We'll move on to the manager's report.
The financials, they're now up to date, correct, Mario? With what changes that were wanted to be on those?
Yeah, we met today with Ray, and for next month, whatever changes we discussed will be implemented. Okay. So we'll talk about the exact things once we get the report. Okay. So, anything else?
Other than that?
Okay. Legal counsel, any update, any collection issues?
So during that same meeting, we had a chance to meet with Diane and talked about how collections are going to work moving forward. They were basically asking the difference on having me handle the lien section part of it. So up until now, Artemis has been doing the intent to lien and the lien. So starting basically 45 days from, I think it was today or a couple days ago, they had just sent out a bunch of intent to liens. So when that 45 days is up, they're going to pass those to me to actually file the liens, and then from that point forward, I will be monitoring those going forward. So it was a good discussion today. We got a lot of the processes, I think, ironed out there. We'll obviously implementation. We'll see how that goes in 45 days, but we're hopeful it'll be smooth. The CCRs that we've been working on, I know we've reported to the community before that we started working on that. that's still a work in progress, and it's going to be a long road to get all of that complete, so that we've got a draft that's ready to submit to the community to vote on. I don't know that we're going to get it done this calendar year. That might be something we need to push the next calendar year, but we're going to set up a series of meetings between the board and myself to start working through a couple paragraphs at a time to get a new draft of the CCNRs ready for everybody to approve. So it's a work in progress.
All right, thank you.
Do you want to, while we're on that topic, do you want to pick a date to do the next one, or you just want to coordinate offline about that? It's up to you. I don't really care. One way or the other.
Yeah, everybody's schedule is going to be all over the place, so I think we can
We'll just
coordinate
coordinate offline for our
Yeah.
our next powwow on that.
Yeah. All right, our treasurer couldn't be here today, but I'm gonna kind of just give a quick synopsis of the numbers. Basically for this tax, so all of our finances are for the month before, so whatever I'm giving you is what occurred in May. Every month, we're gonna be 1 month behind. So in May, basically, we collected our starting balance of the account on May 1st was 146,000. That's the operating account. And it increased up to 166,000 with the collections, then we paid about $117,000 worth of bills. And now we still have a balance of 195. So basically we are $28,000 positive this month. Okay. Now, one thing I want to say about budget and finances is that, it's time for everybody that's been delinquent in their assessments to come clean and catch up. We want everybody to be current. We don't want everybody to owe, because when you owe, it hurts the entire community, because we cannot use funds that we don't have on hand. So please get with the lawyer, get with the manager, and just try to stay current with the dues, and that'll be helpful for all of us, okay? All right, Secretary, anything?
Those are my report. So 3 things to report on. The first one is property movements in the month of May. So there's no reported property sales within the month of May. Records given over to management. We did receive last meeting. In the meeting, we handed over signed copies of all of our meeting minutes. So that went to Kim. So that can go on record and be put on all of the digital platforms. And then I do a monthly audit of front steps, looking at the records that are up there, making sure that we're keeping things up to date. And from my audit, I don't see anything missing. So it looks like we're good to go. That's it for me.
All right, we're going to move over to committee reports, compliance committee. I know Jose couldn't be with us today. You want to say anything about compliance, Mark? I know you're the only compliance guy here.
All I know is we've got a couple of items that we're going to have to address. That's it.
Okay. For those of you that are new, basically, we have a compliance committee that assesses fines on people who are in violation status after they've been sent a couple of letters, and they get reviewed by the fining committee, and a fine is imposed if they're just not complying for just being, not doing it. But if they have a valid reason, or there's a reason to give them extra time, it's up to the compliance committee to decide if that's warranted. So that's kind of trying to be fair, because everybody has different circumstances. So, all right. So they have a hearing coming up next month. What date is that? Or do we have a date? Or
The 18th.
the 18th. All right. ARC committee.
Everything's moving smoothly, and we should be having a meeting here coming up after the holiday. I'll be getting in contact with everyone. I was kind of out of commission for about 3 or 4 weeks, so I've been out of contact with these guys, but they seem to be chugging right along.
Yeah, so on the ARC committee issue, I talked to Chris and some of the ARC committee members, and we have a lot of people making changes on their houses, and after the fact, they want to submit architectural review approvals, and it's not fair to the people that are actually doing it ahead of time, and the homeowner's taking the risk that if it doesn't get approved, then they might have to take it down. But by the same token, if it's something that gets approved, right now there's no penalty for that, and it's just you just approve it and that's it. But I think we need to encourage people to submit these approvals ahead of time so that things can be done correctly. So I asked the lawyer to maybe propose that we have a penalty for people that make changes and subsequently submit the approval. So basically, in the nutshell, I'm just going to give the general. If that happens, the homeowner will be fined $75.
Okay.
Okay, and until they pay the $75, the ARC is not gonna,
But
move.
Jose's aware of that, so he knows to send me an email to send out to them, so that we're.
Well,
that makes
Jose's
sure
gonna
we
be
don't-
updated. He's not here today, but we'll update him
Okay,
on this.
cool.
And, if that goes unanswered, then they would go over to compliance committee for proper disposal.
Sounds
Okay?
good.
So, anybody want to make a motion to approve the new finding policy with the amendment that I just discussed?
Yeah, I make that motion to do the new resolution for the architecture fine, right?
It's a new finding policy, amended finding policy.
The finding policy.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. None opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay, landscaping committee?
So right now we have nothing new to report. Pretty much everything is going normal. The complaints received has been taken care of, so pretty much moving along.
The only thing I have to add is, we noticed some trees are still too low, especially in the single-family homes. And I talked to Blade Runners that they need to bring those trees up because I walk my dogs every day and some of those are like just barely over my head and I'm short, so I can't imagine other people. Hey. So just so you guys are aware, and if anybody ever sees anything that, even if it's not your house, that you feel needs to be addressed, feel free to submit a work order for landscaping, even if it's not your house. Say, hey, those trees are way out of line, they're covering the sidewalk or anything like that. We would appreciate that help. All right. Social committee. This one. So social committee, basically, right now we have planned the VSO day. So it'll be a day for basically all the neighbors to get together, talk about different things that they want to talk about. People get to kind of, know faces rather than just hearing people on social media or emails and stuff. So we have planned a barbecue. KUA has been very generous to let us borrow this big monster barbecue that everyone can use. And we basically, the HOA is paying for the rental of the facility. But, we are counting on homeowners that are showing up to bring food, whether it's sides, meat, whatever you want to do. If you want to just for your consumption or to share, that's entirely up to you. But, the idea is for us to have a good time. If you have any games that you think would be of value, please feel free to donate them and not for keeps, but at least let us borrow them to have things to do for, the kids and or even the older kids. So that's what we have on there. What else?
Mario, is that grilled gas or is it charcoal?
It's gas.
Gas. Okay.
Yes, and it's July 22nd between 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. But if you're planning to cook, you can start coming at noon. The grill will be open to start cooking at noon. Okay?
We need volunteers.
We need many volunteers, either to steer people, to help us set up, to help us tear down. Right now, besides the social committee members, I got one volunteer that wants to cook.
What day is that?
It's July 22nd, it's a Saturday.
I'll be out.
Okay? So if you guys want, Shanette or you guys can contact us and we'll be happy to, I want to have a running list of how many volunteers we have so we know exactly how we're going to utilize people. So we'd appreciate your help. Safety committee?
Well, we, the same so far. I'm doing the rounds as much as I can, and pretty much I'm seeing everything normal, nothing out of the ordinary. We received an alert. I don't know if you guys saw it. There was nothing. It was a false alarm. Somebody posted it. So just in case, not breaking in VSO. That was a false alarm.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. All right, moving on to the old business, construction defects lawsuits. As you guys know, the townhomes are involved in a construction defect lawsuit with Ball and Janik. They have scheduled their initial inspections for August 8 and 9. They will provide management with the information as to which houses they're going to go to and how, and the owners will be notified. If any townhome owners have leaks that they haven't reported or damage of any type, as stucco or roof related, any exterior damage, please report it through the website so that we can make sure we pass that information on to the law firm. Okay, anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, when you go to the website, it's the specific tab that says townhome work order. You submit it there so management can separate, because we have work order for the house and work order for the townhome. So make sure it's the townhomes tab.
Yeah, I wanted to add, specifically for this date when they're coming to inspect, they're looking for windows. So if there's any leaks with windows, associated with windows, is what they're looking at.
Okay, so that's the update on that. Right now we have ongoing townhome repairs, so there's some roof repairs that are being addressed, right? These are roofs and soffits and stuff, or?
So yes, there is, and I got I'll sidebar with you guys, but I got a contractor who's going to do the second floor shutters and the second floor soffits and he can be out here and get a proposal together to get the exact what he can get out, but he can do it fairly quickly. I talked to him this afternoon.
And I know those roof repairs are the ones that they came already and suggested as soon as it start leaking again, they need to take a picture and report it.
And there was the one that came out last week. They got inside, they saw where it was leaking, and they just have to come out when they're available next. They're gonna let me know as soon as they're able to come out and actually do the repair. So the person let us know when it leaked again, so they did perfect to let us know, so that was great.
All right. So basically, all repairs are underway, and if you haven't reported or you have reported and we missed you, because I know there was one homeowner specifically who reported something in September and he kind of got lost in the shuffle. We had to bring him back up after so I just want to make sure that if you've reported something that has gone unattended, probably you need to report it again or contact management and bring it back to our attention. But what's on here is all that we're working on right now. Handyman, you already talked about. We have a handyman that is doing all the minor stuff at the townhomes. So we're trying to upkeep stuff. There's a lot of broken lights, loose pavers, those kind of things, and trying to keep the place as tidy as we can. All right, we move on to the electronic voting process. So as you guys know, we're adopting an electronic voting service. So it's a third-party service. No board member, manager, or anyone will have anything to do with any elections. You would receive proper notifications according to the law, and it would be up to you whether you want to use electronic voting or if you want to come here on the day of election and vote in person. That's also will be an option. Where are we in the process of?
So the people with any townhomes, misspoke. Anyone with double email, so it's 2 people living in the home and they have 2 emails. So I have an email, somebody else has an email, we're both owners. You're gonna be getting an email saying, I need you to pick one. That's a really big step. It's a really important step. So watch your spam folders. I know a lot of people have really sensitive spam folders, so be watching those to make sure you see an email from us saying, please pick an email. That's a really big first step in order to narrow it down to the emails, because that's when the whole process is going to be going into motion. It's like the biggest step first, though.
Now, on that note, is that a thing that's done on the website for the voting service, or is that something that's going to be through us?
Management has to do it because it's a privacy issue.
Correct.
Okay, so I have to do a spreadsheet, I have to.
So what is in place that, let's say, for example, you send me that request and I pick an email, Then later on, I want to say, no, that's not the email I picked the other one. So how do we avoid that?
They have to email management to change it.
Okay, so they have to be specific.
And then I have to let the HOA now know
Okay.
about that.
And
And
this is
when,
all-
when that already started?
That's, I have to get those emails out to everybody. It's a bit of a tedious process.
What about to hit the July 27th mark?
We're gonna be okay.
We have, okay, so the first vote that we're gonna set up with this system is the second assessment for the cable, which we're gonna talk about at the end of the meeting. So that will be July 27th. We're working on maybe opening up a voting window so that people that, we know people have different schedules, different times, and if you can't be here physically at the meeting, then you're gonna vote electronically. We would like you to have the opportunity to vote on your own time and be able to count your vote. If you don't wanna vote, please give your proxy to somebody that can vote on your behalf, or at least submit a proxy for you to count as quorum, because all those things kind of help, okay? So anything else you want to say?
Just a question for Kim. You're taking the email addresses to provide the vote HOA so that they can take off and send their homeowners everything. Is that what you're trying to do? You're trying to reconcile a good list?
Correct.
Yeah, because everybody has multiple emails.
Right, just so that the homeowners understand. So if you have multiple addresses, we have to give them one contact for you. Because again, it's a third party. So Kim's just trying to clean up that list, give one contact so that they can associate your email address with your home address. And then that way we provide that information to the third party and they'll contact you on our behalf to start the work process. So
And-
just start cleaning things up on our.
How are we gonna handle like corporate owned properties? Because we've never historically had any signature certificates or anything like that, so is there a way that we would handle that? Do they have to pick somebody to, or the same thing, they just pick an email and,
Yeah, they have to do it the same way.
so they're gonna get that too? Okay.
And just make sure they need one email just because it's one vote per house,
Right.
per lot. That's why they need one email only.
Okay, so special assessment status, basically, right now, the board has approved the 20% of last year's budget, which is all we can approve based on our documents. July 27th will be the election for the other part that we need to buy out the cable contract. I believe there's a few people who have paid their initial assessment already. It's not due till December 31st, but if you want to pay, like I said, in parts, $20 here, $50 there, you can do that, however you want to do it. But, just to remind people that this is an option. Do we have anything on the reserve study proposals?
I have one of the three requested, but I didn't want to give without the full picture.
Oh, that's fine.
Correct, yeah.
That's fine, we'll wait. So just for the homeowners to know, Sangria and Menorca, the streets are private. They're not owned by the CDD. The developer made it that way to make things a little more confusing for everybody. So basically the HOA is responsible for those streets. So we're trying to figure out, because they're starting to deteriorate, they're starting to pop up holes on the streets here and there. So we're trying to figure out how we can assess the current condition and how much money it's gonna take to maintain those streets so that we can create a reserve fund for the homeowners that live on those streets. So there'll be more to come on that, but that's the general idea of what we just talked about. Any update on MOU with CDD? Nothing, right? No. So basically, we're trying to find a way to work together with the CDD to, maybe there's certain things that they can help us out with and certain things we can help them out with. It's a work in progress. The attorneys are dealing with that, and when we have more information, we'll let you know. New business, community nuisance. These are, okay. So these are, I know there's, so these are basically houses that,
The kids and the one with the
Yeah.
motorcycles.
so these are violations of 3 homes that potentially are doing activities that they shouldn't be doing in our community, like mechanic work, they're riding ATVs around the neighborhood and all this kind of stuff. So what we wanted to basically highlight that is that, there's a way that you, the homeowners, remember that the HOA only has control of your properties, right? We only have jurisdiction over the properties, not the streets, not the sidewalks. So if they're riding ATVs on the sidewalk, don't report it to the HOA because we can't help you. Now, if you see them riding on your property, take a picture, preferably a timestamp picture. Send it to the HOA. That we have jurisdiction of. If you know where the person lives, it always helps to put the address of the individual that is committing the infraction. My understanding, I spoke to Diane today, we don't share that information with anybody in the community of who reported what. So, I know a couple homeowners have approached me that, I don't want to get involved, I don't want problems with anyone. If you report something, it's anonymous, your name doesn't get disclosed, no one's gonna know you did it, but we need as many eyes in the community as possible. So what we ask is that the only way we're gonna stop these things from happening is by the homeowners being responsible and reporting these things when they happen. I'm gonna tell you, in my street, one of these individuals drove a pretty fast car, like almost 80 miles an hour with his lights off at night. And I was getting in my car and I saw this car swerving like this in the dark, and it was pretty scary. And what I'm afraid of is that one of these days something bad is gonna happen. And that's why, we need to be responsible and report these things. Okay, so, and everybody knows that if your vehicle doesn't have a license plate, then legally it's not street legal and you shouldn't be driving into the street, okay? So enforcement options, do we have anything on that? Is that just, it'll follow the same violation type thing on the nuisance?
Yes, and other than, they could also, I don't know what, I think it maybe call the police if there's things like the vehicle that's driving 80 miles an hour.
Correct. Well, like I said, nothing with streets is
Right, of
pertaining
course.
to the HOA. So if it's a very dangerous situation like that, call the police and obviously act on it. If it's something that is not that urgent, report it to the CDD. That's their jurisdiction. Okay?
I like what he mentioned, so nothing that you do a complaint, no one knows who did it, it's confidential. So when you go to bsohoa.com, you gotta go to the tab where it says complaint. Right there, you can upload pictures, send whatever complaint you have, and management can deal with that issue.
Okay. All right, we're moving on. So we're planning for the annual meeting. So our annual meeting will be September. Is that what we agreed on? September? So annual meeting is where we're going to approve the budget for next year and where we're going to vote for a new director. So this year, we're going to put up one seat for election. And we've kind of been thinking about this and trying to figure out how to do it to best serve. So all the terms are 5 years. So once you get elected by the membership, you serve for 5 years. We're looking for good people. We're looking for people that bring solutions, not just people that are going to complain about everybody. So please, if you think you can make an impact, we'd be happy to have you on the board. I think, when do you think we can expect notices for nominations and stuff like this to go out?
It's 14 days required, but the budget, you have to have, a workshop for that, so that would be in August, the workshop. And then, so the notices so that's separate. And typically those are separate, those budget and annual are separate, so.
But we need to send the nomination for candidates early, right?
Right, but usually those meetings are separate. So
When you say which meetings are separate?
the budget and the annual meeting are usually separate for you guys, so.
Correct. But I think we're going to do it at once, right? That's what we agreed on?
Mhm.
Council?
Yeah, as far as I know, there's no rule that says you can't do it
Yeah,
together.
because
Yeah, just,
the budget is basically a vote. By the general meeting, kind of all the nuances of the budget should have been kind of ironed out through the workshop and everything. And so it'd just be a matter of approving it while the votes are being tallied and we get results from the votes.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only two things we're gonna do at the annual meeting, is approve the budget, elect the director, and call it a day.
yeah, I just,
No, I'm just trying to set the expectation, so.
I think by July, we can send out the document, will be, for nomination, will be good.
Yeah,
yeah, typically it's 30 days before to do for nomination. You send the notice out 30 days before. They have
so the
25
nomination
days.
window would be what, 2 weeks or 30 days?
30 days.
It's typically, it's, I mean, 21 days before they, you know, they
Yeah.
submit their
So,
intent to run is what they do.
Yep.
Yeah, so you set it out, you know, well out, before, a little bit before 30
yeah,
days.
because I would like to have a month, so the month of August, maybe we need to send it in July, because I would like the month of August to kind of allow whatever candidates to campaign and have the opportunity to have, you know, a town hall with them and kind of get people to get to know them. So we're not in a rush, and then, you know, the actual election notice can go out 14 days before, once we know the candidates. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anybody have any other issues they want to bring up right now?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, I want to go back and just do a reminder. I should have done this during the compliance committee report. Basically, as you guys know, that we are enforcing cleaning your roofs, and I thank the majority of our owners. Everyone has done an excellent job. I believe we have under 30% of people still not in compliance, maybe even less than that now. But the grace period has come to an end. Violations will continue to move forward. So if you haven't cleaned your roof, now is the time. You don't want to get in front of the hearing committee about this, please, okay? And all we want is a beautiful community. And we ask all of you, if there's an issue as to why you're not cleaning your roof, or for whatever reason, please contact management, and they will guide you with what needs to be done. Okay, that's all we have. We're gonna have open forum then. If anybody wants to bring up any issue that is a community issue, no personal issues, please. Personal issues, you could either talk to us after the meeting, or you can talk to management or the lawyer after the meeting. But if you want anything that pertains to the entire community, if anybody wants to say something, come to the podium and share your thoughts. Who we have there?
Robin.
Who?
Robin.
Miss Robin, you're being recognized. Unmute yourself, please. Robin?
Oh, trying to,
Yep, we can hear you now.
Unmute yourself again.
Unmute again. You went back to mute. Robin?
hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. I live on Via Otera, so that's a townhouse. So, do I have to personally have my roof cleaned?
No, dear, the townhomes are maintained by the HOA. So we're just speaking to the single family homes. And just for all fairness, I'm going to cover that issue. The townhomes haven't been cleaned because of the construction defect lawsuit. As soon as these inspections are done and the lawyer gives us the go-ahead, those roofs will be cleaned because the budget has been approved, the money's there, we have the vendor, everything's ready to go, but we put a hold on it because the lawyer doesn't want us cleaning the roofs until they get time to inspect first.
Thank you kindly. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, ma'am. Anybody else? All right, anybody else here? No? Going once? Yes, sir. Please come to the podium so we can hear you.
Good evening, everybody.
What is your name, sir?
Juvet.
Juvel?
Juvet.
Juvet.
D-U-V-E-T.
Juvet, okay. And you live, what street you live in, sir? Okay.
Well, we received a text that say that there's an increase of $300 and also $1,000. So we'd like to have some more information about it.
Yeah, we will be talking about that in a few minutes, about that. That's for the cable buyout. So we're gonna put some numbers up and we're gonna talk about it so you can understand it better.
And the number two, and what about the gate? When are the gate gonna be in function?
That's a CDD issue, but I believe they're already working on it. But that's a CDD issue. The HOA doesn't have anything to do with the gate. That meeting is in August right now because they postponed it. It was supposed to be July 11th, but they postponed it to August.
Okay, and also the third issue is people that still driving very fast in the community. It's supposed to be like 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
We have kids going around.
Yeah.
I live on Camino Real as well. I live right down the road from you, and it's a constant problem with our streets.
Chevy so much coming.
Yeah. Again, bring that to the CDD meeting because they're the ones who have
Yeah.
jurisdiction over the streets.
If you can make it out in August to the meeting, I'll be there as well, and we can address that issue with the CDD because I can give you plate numbers for the cars that are new. You know, it's ridiculous.
It's August
I have a
17th.
10-year-old daughter who plays out there, and one of these days, something bad's gonna happen.
It's not something going to happen.
Yep.
I agree, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Mario Moreno Español.
Sí, ¿nombre suyo?
Buenas tardes, María Jaques,
¿Y usted en qué calle, señor?
30 Villa Preciosa.
Ok. Dale.
Sí, el problema mío es con relación al chat.
¿A qué?
La tarjeta de abrir la puerta.
Oh,
Me abre la puerta, pero no me abre la oficina. ¿Por qué?
ok. Eso tiene que ver con el CDD. Nosotros no tenemos, hacemos el acceso de la comunidad. Eso es el CDD. Aquí hay una muchacha que trabaja de viernes a domingo, de 10 de la mañana a 3 de la tarde. Ella le puede resolver ese problema. Okay. So just for everybody else, she was just asking about her access card not working at the pool. And I just told her it's a CDB issue and that she needs to take it up with the attendant that's here on the weekends. Anybody else? I saw a line. Okay, venga.
Buenas tardes para todos. Mi queja es referente al corte de la grama, al corte del pasto.
¿Cómo es su nombre, señor?
María Palma,
Palma, ok. Y usted vive en Riachuelo, ¿no?
en Riachuelo.
Ok, dígame.
Es referente al corte del pasto, que nunca, no fumigan y el pasto ya está que se entra a la casa. Ellos nunca fumigan en todas las áreas de los lados de la casa. Otra cosa, tampoco fumigan lo que son las hormigas y tampoco cortan el pasto dentro del jardín.
¿Dentro del jardín a dónde?
O sea, solamente por los lados del jardín, pero no fumigan ni hacen nada con la grama que está en el jardín, encima del
So,
que nace.
lo mejor que puede hacer es meter una orden por medio del website para landscaping con su queja y eso nos viene a nosotros y le llega también a la compañía de jardinería y nosotros tenemos una reunión cada 2 semanas con la compañía de jardinería y podemos ir a su casa a ver qué es lo que es el problema y resolvemos. ¿Ok?
Es el landscaping work order.
¿Cómo?
Se llama landscaping work order para que sepa.
Déjeme traducirle a just so everybody knows what's going on. She's complaining about landscaping issues. I instructed her to put in a landscaping order and that we meet with the landscaper every 2 weeks, the landscaping committee, and that we will work together to address her issue. Dale.
También respecto de la fumigación atrás de los lagos. Yo vivo al lado del lago y hay tiempos en que llegan una cantidad de mosquitos espantosos, pero uno no puede siquiera salir a la parte de atrás de la casa porque está lleno de mosquitos. Yo pienso que eso es tan peligroso, hay una enfermedad.
Sí.
No fumigan.
Sí,
Nunca fumigan.
los lagos es parte del CDD. Eso tendría que traerlo a la reunión de agosto. ¿Ok? Pero lo demás, usted pone la orden en el website de landscaping order y nosotros resolvemos. ¿Ok? Gracias. Yeah. So she's just bringing up the other issue is there's a lot of mosquitoes. She lives by a lake and the mosquitoes have been pretty bad. That's a CDB issue that we don't address. So I just redirected her. Anybody else? All righty. Going once. Anybody else?
If you can, please, I know we haven't done this before, if you can, just have the board approve the, compliance, just specifically the.
Oh yeah, that's what these are, right?
Right, they're 70, but.
70, thank you for the count, I appreciate that. So basically, we need a motion to take the 70 homeowners that are in violation for roofs to the third letter for the finding committee. Anybody want to make that motion?
I don't mean to correct you, but it's not just roofs, it's one other thing as well, but.
All right, well,
But anyway.
anyone who has received, the list is here, it'll be in our records, and there's 70 homes, most of them are roof cleans, there's other issues as well. Okay, anybody making a motion on this? Jason makes the motion, anybody second? Second by Scott, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. All right,
I think you have one more.
yeah, dele señora. Well, what's your name?
Víctor Herrera.
Oh, Victor, okay, you live in Villa Preciosa, right? Okay. Okay, thank you, I'm sorry.
A few weeks ago, I spoke with somebody for the landscape, and the person came here to check it out. And he told me that he's going to answer a few days, and I'm still waiting. I know I had to pay, but the point is he didn't respond. Besides that, I had the same problems he had at my back. It didn't work. When the link came, it didn't work.
The what, I'm sorry?
Pass also. When I pass through the gate,
Oh.
The RFID has.
Yeah,
the links of my children, when they come, they had a problem to pass.
okay. That's CDD.
Yeah, now.
Okay, so we'll address that in August with the CDD. And in terms of the landscaping, the landscaping committee make sure that we address that along with Ms. Paiva, okay? We'll be in touch with you about that. Anybody else? All right. I'm going to adjourn this meeting. The next board meeting will be July 27th at 7 p.m. Meeting adjourned at, do we need a motion to adjourn? All right, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries.